All right, this is week 10 of Python 101. I'm doing my recording for the addition of our two new functions for this week. This week's goal challenges, basically. Sorry, I don't know why I was having trouble phrasing that. Um, but basically, yeah, in order to achieve the goals that were listed this week, I needed to add two functions to our utils module, and then add some functionality to the file utils module. Just add some to one of the existing functions, as well as of course, implement that into our main driver here. So yeah, let's go over what we did. So first of all, in utils, we added two new functions. We've got um, combine calls, which is our function to take any two columns and combine the information within. So we're going to use that to combine the CRN and the subject here, because they're related pieces of information, and it'll be more useful to have them in one column. So anywho, the way that we do this is we make a modified list, um, which is just going to be a copy of the set that we pass it, which is going to be one of the sets from the sets.py, right? One of our working sets. And then the columns, which is going to be a tuples of columns to a tuple of the columns that you want to be combined. And then it's going to return the tuple, a tuple, excuse me, of the modified list, and then a map of which is basically going to be a dictionary that contains keys, which are the columns that the values are going to be moved into, and then the value is going to be a tuple, which represents the um, indices of the columns to be combined. I think that's the best way to describe that. Yeah. So basically, the first is the keep index, and then you have column one, column two. That's it's easier to probably just read it than it is for me to verbalize it there. But that's yeah, that's how it formats its return. Anywho, so we make a copy, we make an empty combo map dictionary, so we have something to work with, and then we make a kill list. Don't know why there's a empty white space there. My bad. Um, then we're gonna go through each tuple, excuse me, in our columns tuple, and if the first is not in the set, we're gonna print an error. Same for the second. Then we're going to set in the combo map the first um, index to be equal to these two. And then we're going to kill, or we're not going to kill, but we're going to add to the kill list the second value. And then for every item in the kill list, we remove it from the modified list so that we don't have duplicates, because we're trying to move the values from one column into another, not copy them and then leave them, right? And then we're just going to return the mod list in the combo map. So pretty straightforward. And basically, as a consequence of this, everything else has to be updated, right? So our build report now takes a combo map, and if you don't give it any, it will default to none. Sorry, let me fix my indentation there on my comments. And it will also take an input list. We'll get to that later, because that's our second function. But for now, it takes a combo map as well. And then basically does the same thing that it did before, but it checks if the combo map and the index are basically it checks if the index is in the current index is in the combo map, and if it is, it combines the two columns into one with a delimiter, a delimiter here, which I just used the bar because it just looked the best to me. It made the most sense. And then otherwise, it's just going to do the operation that it usually does that we made it do last week. Then business continues as usual. All right, now we have our purge rows function, which is basically going to take the list, a base list, and then a column through which to search for the value that you want to kill by, and then the category of rows that you want to keep by. So or sorry, I should have said keep by the first time as well. I didn't mean kill by. I meant keep by, because this basically will keep a certain a cell that has a certain identifier and get rid of the rest, or not get rid of the rest, but it just won't copy the rest is a better way to say it. So yep, these are the arguments: base list, column, and keep vals. And the return, it just returns a list of filtered rows, which is in the same form as the base list. So it's basically like the CSV file split into a list of strings, essentially. So, whoops, just dropped something, my bad. So first we just declare the header, because we want to keep the header no matter what. And then we are going to set, we're going to have the filtered, we're going to instantiate our filtered rows list, and then start it with the header. So we always have the header. We're not getting rid of the header no matter what. Then we're going to go for each line in the list, strip it as we do with CSV files by the column to get the values. And then if excuse me, oh my goodness. So if the length is greater than the column specified, excuse me, sorry, I have a kind of gross cold this last week. And this index is in the keep value list, then we are going to append that line to the filtered rows, and then we return it. So basically, check by, each, in the case that we're going to do it, we're going to check by the first value. We're checking by building, and we want to get only the M main, M auto, and M tech, because those are the ones that happen at Manchester Community College. So when we look back at our driver, right, that's what we plug in. We plug in M main, M auto, M tech. We say we're searching through column 0 because we're looking through the descriptors here. And then obviously we're using our base list. So yeah, that's our first operation that we do. We filter out the rows. Then we get the mod set and the combo map that we're going to need in order to combine the columns using the function that we made, and we just store them, and then we pass them into the filtered report, into the build report to get a filtered report, and then finally we write that filtered 2 ways now, removing the rows and also combining the columns. We write that to a new file. So yeah, that is pretty much the long and short of it. If we go ahead and run this, it's going to give us a new file over here, filtered combined report.csv. We're going to open that up, and we take a look at it, and we see that our subject and course have been combined with our line delimiter. And if we scroll down, you can already see we're starting at M auto, right? And then we get M main and M tech classes way at the bottom, and that's all we have. And we have 462 rows as opposed to 800 and something, 838 in our base file. So we've cut it down by about half, and we've combined all the relevant information. There weren't any other columns that really made sense to combine to me. In my opinion, it kind of seemed to make sense to keep separate. Hold on 1 second. What is separate? Basically that's it. And I'll see you in class.